Welcome back to the Pioneer Sideline. I'm your host, Aaron Cooney, episode 126 here, coming at you. And now it's time, everybody's favorite segment, Courthouse Tavern Case of the Week, brought to you by the Courthouse Tavern, located at 310 Forbes Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh. It's a crowd to go anywhere else. Matt Desmond off to my left, Kevin Calhoun to my right. And guys, just finished up last night with the Cardinals winning the NLCS just last night. So they're going to take on the Texas Rangers in the World Series starting Wednesday. Simple question. Who you got? Kevin.
It's the Cardinals here, and this is my favorite segment as well. But no, it's St. Louis. The experience is there. The pitching is there. You look at this Texas team. They don't play well on the road. They are the technical road team in here because the NL won the All-Star game this year. 2 games on the road at St. Louis to start. If you remember back last year in the World Series, they lost 2 games at San Francisco to start the World Series. Not a good sign for them. You got Chris Carpenter on the mound. It's all about game 1, and I like Chris Carpenter. Albert Pujols, a career 340 hitter in the postseason, hitting over 400 this year. It's all about the Cardinals.
You really look at this Texas Rangers team and you say they're a 7-3 team in postseason this year, and they've been hitting the ball great this year. And you look at it, they have 13 home runs this year. They have 4.11 ERA. That's the only downfall of this team. But you look at their bullpen, and they're pitching at 2.34 rate as the ERA, and I think that's going to be the main thing. If the bullpen for the Rangers can consistently be a factor in this series, I think that the Texas Rangers really have a good shot at winning this.
The bullpen numbers look good, but you got to remember who they've been playing against, Matt. This Detroit team goes through bouts where they can't hit anything. This is a team where Brandon Inge came into the season supposed to be one of the best players on the team, hit in the 200s all year long, never really got it going. Delman Young didn't play the whole series. Detroit was not the best matchup for Texas. St. Louis plays excellent small ball. They move batters around. Texas can't play that game.
Yeah, that's true, though. But you have to look at this Texas Rangers team. You see all their powerful bats they have in this lineup. Josh Hamilton, Nelson Cruz had 6 home runs and 13 RBIs in that series against Detroit. You look at those numbers. Those are you can't lose with those numbers.
You can lose with those numbers when you're playing against the Cardinals, one of the best teams, and not giving up home runs when it comes to starting pitchers, though.
Yes, but their starting pitchers not the best either. Their bullpen, they have to rely heavily on their bullpen as well as the Rangers. But I think it's really going to come down to the balance of the offenses. And you look at the Rangers' offense. I would take over the Cardinals. They have Holiday and Pujols, but you look at the Rangers, and you see Nelson Cruz, Josh Hamilton, Ian Kinsler, David Murphy. These are all powerful bats. You add their Adrian Beltre. I think those are 5 bats that you can't compare to the Cardinals.
I could say the same thing about the Boston Red Sox or the New York Yankees. They have better offenses than Texas, and they're not even in it. So it's not all about the offense. You got to go with an entire team perspective. Better defense in St. Louis, better starting pitching in St. Louis, and I think the bullpens are a push.
Well, that's where I think you got wrong. You look at the defense for the Cardinals, and you see that Alvis Andres is probably one of the most underrated shortstops in the league, playing shortstop with his defense. And I think he brings a lot to the field. You look at the Rafael Furcal for the Cardinals, and I think he's a great factor, but he doesn't really does all the defensive attributes that you want in a shortstop. I really think it's going to come down to the defense because this pitching is going to be, I wouldn't say atrocious, but it's not going to be the best that we're going to see in a World Series.
Don't you think experience plays a factor, though? The St. Louis team has won a World Series. Texas went to the World Series last year and just did not play well. They got beat first 2 games in San Francisco. They then lost the first game at home in that World Series last year, and they ended up losing this World Series 4-1. Not a good sign for Texas. They don't have they just don't have the confidence to continue to move on in the playoffs here. I think St. Louis is just a better overall baseball team, Matt. And just moving forward, I think St. Louis has got this covered. I won the World Series debate last year, and I think St. Louis is going to do it again this year. I like the National League 2 years in a row.
I don't know, Kevin, you might have met your matchers. We got a special guest joining us right now, former host Josh Furketic, out of the blue, out of the darkness.
I liked Matt's argument. That's why I wanted to switch out with him, because I think you have a little bit of a problem here. You didn't mention it, but the bullpen for the Rangers is just going to be too much for that Cardinals offense. I like where you're talking about with the starting pitching, but it showed in their series just wrapped up that the bullpen was very important for the Rangers. I think that's going to take they made some great trades with Koji Uemura.
Sure.
So I think, and plus the back half with Felice.
Oh, I love Natalie Flees, but I think you're just looking at a Cardinals team, Josh, that has a better offense than Detroit, especially with the injuries.
I know they got a
guys
better offense, but that's not going to matter. They're putting up 14 runs against a Detroit team, and they put up very good numbers against Verlander, too, which you can say that he had the problem with the whole rain delay thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to matter. I think it's going to come down to that back half of that bullpen. And that Cardinals bullpen is unexperienced. With Mott trying to close games, I don't think that he's there yet.
The question I had for Matt that I have for you is how much does experience play a role for Texas here? After losing last year, I honestly think that this team just doesn't have the confidence. They played well in the ALCS, but this Cardinals team has been there before. Like I said, Pujols hitting over 400.
Rangers team have been there before just last year, too. So I think that experience factor is right there.
But they lost 4 games to 1. They dropped the first 2 on the road. If they lose game 1, which I think they will, to Carpenter on Wednesday night, I just don't think that bodes well for this Texas team after they drop 2 to San Francisco.
Cut it there. Ding, ding, ding. End of the match.
him the belt.
I tell you what, in a handicap surprise upset, the belt over here. We need the belt out.
I got the
Matt,
belt.
step up. The unification here of both. Take the match. We got to step out of here.
A handicap
New winner
match.
coming out from out of the darkness. Winner
Discount
Matt.
double check. Discount double check.
We'll see what happens next week. Be sure to tune in. Same Pioneer place, same Pioneer time.
Discount double check.
It's upside down.